Greetings, all gallant sailors on YouTube, welcome to Abyssal Recap. Today we'll sail our way to Hong Kong in its early 2000s, to witness a group of professional hitmen faking others' death by conspiring unexpected accidents. Spoilers alert, buckle up and take care. One morning, in Hong Kong, a woman's car broke down blocking the street. Behind her was the triad boss Lee Sing. Lee got out and urged the woman to give way. The woman did not know what to do, so he turned his car around to the right side of the street. At this time an old man driving a truck passed by. He splashed water on Lee's face, then a banner went down on Lee's car. He stopped the car in rage. Upstairs in the corner, a fatty was looking at him. Lee was so angry that he got out of the car and ripped off the banner. The broken glass hit Lee's head and blood flowed everywhere. This seems to be an accident, but in fact it was a well-planned assassination. The woman blocking the road, the old man in his truck, the fatty who hid upstairs, and the glasses man who watched from the crowd are professional assassins. The group was led by the glasses man Brain's good at planning sophisticated assassinations. They were paid to work, and never exposed their existence over the years. But this time Uncle dropped a cigarette at the scene. Considering any mistake can leak evidence, they may suffer from severe consequences. Brain blamed him. The woman and fatty have pleaded on his behalf. Uncle knew the matter seriously, promised to quit smoking. Brain, for the sake of years of friendship, forgave him this time. Brain is a careful man. He changes vehicles several times on his way home, not to mention any contact with neighbors. Before entering the house, he would check if the leaf caught in the door falls. The house is cold and clear, there is no trace of warmth, as his beloved wife died in a car accident 3 years ago. The only thing she left him was a broken watch. The accident had become Brain's nightmare. He believed someone set it up and killed her. A few days later, Fatty received another job. A son pledged to kill his own father. Brain, secretly observed for a few days, finding the target is paralyzed old man, while the employer seems like a filial son carry him in a wheelchair. Every morning, the employer would take his father out, crossing the street to the store. He had a key tied with long threads. At 8 p.m., they would close the store on time to cross the road. Brain found out that the employer had an appointment with the insurance manager. He bought an insurance for his father, and it was obvious that he was going to cheat his father out for the insurance money. The employer's motive was determined. Brain was relieved and began to work out an assassination plan with the three. The target rarely goes out, so if they want to conspire an accident, they have to catch him crossing the street. There are 2 train tracks in the middle of the road, and Uncle had an idea. They can connect a cable to electrify the tracks. But it would be too obvious. Woman said, they could use a normal rope instead, but it had to be soaked. Brain added, they could fly a kite during a rainy day. Easier said than done. Uncle and Fatty both failed practicing it, while woman seemed to have talent flying a kite. The plan was finalized and everything was ready for the 8 p.m. rain. After several days, the rain is forecasted for the night. Woman took the kite to the roof, Uncle disguised as vendor preparing to block the camera with a balloon, and Fatty rides his bike to bump off the wheelchair. Brain took control of the whole situation and gave the order. Seeing that the employer and his father crossed the road but rain did not arrive, Brain had to order to call it a day. They made few more attempts the other day, but luck was not on their side. Another night, the 4 were waiting for the rain. Fatty saw Uncle lit a cigarette. He reminded him that he promised to quit smoking for the crew. While Uncle, with a weird look, denied he said so. Noticing Uncle is not alright, Fatty called Brain that Uncle was not in the right mindset for action. He may drag everyone down. Brain in hesitation to withdraw the team. Rain falls right on time. Uncle immediately assured that he's fine. Brain took a look at the father and finally announced action. Woman immediately flew the kite. Fatty rode a bicycle waiting to bump in. Uncle went under the camera. The rain fell heavily. Woman finally cut the rope, the kite floating down and successfully landed on the cable. The employer pushed his father and was about to cross the road, but Fatty suddenly halted. He saw Uncle standing on the street with the same weird face. He did not use the balloon to block the camera. While clock's ticking, Brain said, the rain is heavy enough to block the cam, carry on the plan. Fatty rode straight to the target. The employer fell to the ground, and then he saw his father's wheelchair drifting to the middle of the road. The plan worked. The old man was electrocuted. But Uncle is nowhere to be found. The crew immediately split up to look for him. At this point, something happened. A bus lost control to hit Brain. Brain reacted quickly to dodge it, but it's continuing to Fatty's whereabout, forcefully knocking him off. Brain hesitated for a moment and rushed forward only to see Fatty asked him with his last breath, "Is this an accident?" Brain fled the scene, walked back home, but found that the leaves he had clamped on the door fell to the ground. The door was half open. He was shocked again, just wanted to leave, but was called by a police officer. The police told him that his home was robbed like 5 other rooms in the building. But Brain thought it was not an accident. Home is no longer safe. He went out in the rain, woman called him, but he directly removed the phone card. And at this point, the missing uncle is walking around in a daze. He can't remember what he's doing and where he's going. The next day, the bus accident was on the news. The police claimed it was an accident, but Brain, hiding in the hotel, was not convinced at all. He decided to find out who was behind it. Brain followed the employer all the way to the insurance company, and the person he came to see was the manager, Chen Fengzhou. Brain spied on the two with a monocular, only to see the employer hand out a yellow paper bag, but then the employer took it back and cried, while Chen went back to his office with a gloomy face. As night falls, Uncle is still there pretending to be a vendor. Brain sees him taking pills several times, which convinced him that Uncle was really sick. It turns out that Uncle found out that he had Alzheimer. He secretly took his medication every day, but his condition was getting worse, making him forgetting what he had said and done right in seconds. After settling Uncle, Brain began to follow Chen. His instincts told him that this man was not as simple as he seemed. After locating Chen's place, he found a way to monitor Chen's phone calls. He contacted the landlord and rented the room below him. He called a takeout, but the delivery address was upstairs. The delivery boy knocked on the door for a few minutes and didn't see anyone open the door and turned away. Brain then secretly unlocked the door and entered the room. He set up monitor wires in the room sockets, and drew the layouts in his own room downstairs. He's ready to investigate Chen's movements. The next day Chen went to work. Brain followed all the way, but once again he found the employer. He received a phone call, then went into the parking lot, putting a white paper bag into a red car, and literally shut the door. All of this was seen by Brain. He knew why the employer came here. After Fatty's death, the commission for killing the old man have not yet been taken. Now the employer came to pay the money. He then saw a woman appeared, opened the white paper bag, counted the money. And when she was about to leave, she received a phone call from Brain. Once she heard the tone of Brain is not good, her heart sank. Brain asked her, "Why do you know the employer?" "The identity of the employer only Fatty and I know. Is it that you follow Fatty?" The car accident that day was obviously a real accident. She has always loved Brain. Brain turned a blind eye to it, but now everything is suspected on her, suspected that she betrayed everyone. Woman, feeling emotional, moved the car. But right at the exit, she heard a hissing sound, and gusting valve was pumped out which killed her. As Brain leaving the area, he saw his employer fell from the insurance company and died in front of him. At this moment, the death of his employer made him even more convinced that Chen was the mastermind behind another crime, and he had to be a professional hitman. Late at night, a phone call received by Chen caught Brain's attention. He said the window was loose and he fell from the second floor. The next morning, Brain was awakened by a phone call in which Uncle craving for help. Brain immediately rushed out, but to saw Uncle has fallen from the second floor window just like what Chen said last night. He knew, he must be the next target. Back home, he went through his notes to find out what Chen's plan on him. But hearing a sharp knock on the door he found Chen standing right at his door. Brain was shocked and held his breath. His headphones also started buzzing. He waited till Chen left, and quietly opened the window to look downstairs, but to saw Chen is whispering with the landlord which made him so scared that he fled at speed. 9 days later, Brain finally devised a plan for Chen's accidental death. He parked a dusted car near a construction site and disguised as a worker. Seeing Chen arriving at scene, Brain was ready for action before he received a phone call from Uncle. Uncle said he killed Fatty that night. The balloons and balls fell on the ground which shocked the bus driver. It was indeed an accident. Hearing the statement, Brain still do not want to believe. He activated the windscreen wiper. At the same time, another car came blinded by the reflection from the surveillance camera and the wiped car, crashing into Chen's direction. Suddenly the sky went dark, there was an eclipse happening, people looked up to the sky. Brain looked at the car that drove past him. He couldn't believe it. Was this God's will? Could it be that God was telling the truth? When the sunlight appeared again, Brain saw Chen's wife standing in the middle of the road, another car coming towards her. He instantly regretted and ran to reflecting car, trying to block the sunlight, but it was too late. Chen's wife died. Brain's accident finally got out of his control. He hurried back to his room, washed the layout to leave, but as he walked downstairs, Chen appeared and stabbed him with a knife. Why do you want to harm us? It turns out that the car accident on the rainy night was really just an accident, and woman did not betray him. His home was indeed robbed by the thief. The employer met with Chen just to hand over his father's certificates. Chen was simply an ordinary insurance manager. It was Brain himself summed the coincidences all together, and for this reason it also killed himself. The first thing that happened to him was the death of his wife. The demons that arose from the death of his wife in a car accident put him into an abyss of fear, doubting everything and being paranoid until the moment of his death. It was only at the moment of death that he revealed a long-lost smile and relief. That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed watching it, feel free to leave a like and consider to subscribe to the channel.